So excited. Look at this beautiful panel we have for you today. Look at these beautiful people.
Look at us.
I am really excited to be bringing you this panel today here at GCX Online. Today, we're going to be talking about living and creating authentically. The living part of that being a really heavy emphasis here, because not everything we do is about being content creators, right? You're all creating in your own daily lives. But I'm very excited to introduce some wonderful people to you. I'm going to start with myself because I'm always bad at that. But hi, I'm Snaps. If you find me on Twitch, I'm SheSnaps. I am a broadcaster, podcaster, mental health advocate, and a mindful coach. If you're looking for me on social media, you'll find me at MindOfSnaps everywhere. And these lovely people I have here, I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves to you. I hope that you all go and support them and follow everything they do because it's super, super rad. We're going to start with you, Dorcius. Go ahead and take a second, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dorcius, real name Chris, if you want to use it. Almost nobody does. You can usually find me streaming variety games, but more recently, diving full bore into artwork. And you can find my art on my Twitter at Dorcius or on my Instagram, Dorsmilius. And if you like just being silly and having a good time while we draw, that's usually where you're going to find.
Yeah. And the man rarely stops smiling. So if you ever see it happen, all you have to do is just say a word like similar to smile and it'll happen immediately. All right, we're going to move over based on how we're all displaying on the stream here. So we'll head over to our lovely friend. Do you want me to be calling you Eve for today?
You can call me whatever you want,
Okay.
but Eve works.
Eve, then.
Yes. Hello, my name is Eve Queen, and I'm the prettiest thing you've seen. Ooh, I stream here on Twitch. I play mostly Dead by Daylight. Spooky games is my forte. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'm part of Team Stream Queens, which is a group of drag artists here on Twitch of drag kings, queens, creatures, and characters alike. So check them out at streamqueens.net, period.
That was so professional. That was incredible. Nicely done. You love to see it. We're going to head to you next, Janelle.
Hey, everybody. My name is Janelle Wheeler. I'm kind of a positivity-focused streamer. I love the good vibes and just trying to make people feel good. That's like my whole motto and love for streaming that I never knew I would come to love. I was previously on American Idol. I host a podcast, grew up in the entertainment industry since I was a child, and it led me down this path to streaming. And now I've come to realize that it's so much more about connecting with people than just entertaining people. So that's what I'm all about.
Oh, yeah. All right. Sonia?
Hey, I'm Sonia, or OMG It's Firefox. I honestly sometimes have a hard time kind of summing up exactly what I do. I've sort of landed on, and I've started signing contracts as internet person. It kind of encompasses everything. But I've been streaming and doing content for about 7 years. I started in 2013. I'm a streamer, host, content creator, just overall internet person in the space of gaming, automotive, and more recently, wellness.
Yeah, that's how we connected. And I was really excited because I had been following you since the automotive stuff and then saw you all of the meditation talk and stuff like that. And I got really excited. And the internet person thing really makes me laugh because my mom doesn't quite know how to describe what I do to people. And when she refers to the people from like the community, she calls them my friends from the computer. Like they live inside of it.
You kind of do.
Yeah, right? Tell this to your friends from the computer. Like, okay, let me go.
Hey guys. I
Just
love
type
that.
on the keyboard.
Yes, exactly. All right, Khan, you're up, bud.
I'm Khan, or Young Khan. Just call me Khan. I'm not young anymore. Getting older by the day. I'm a full-time 7-day-a-week broadcaster, graphic designer, illustrator, teacher, I was a podcast host, a hobby powerlifter, and I do a lot. I do a lot of stuff. You can find all my links at conartist.org. I'm usually teaching, designing, and doing whatever I find interesting. Animator. I do rebranding. I've actually did the logo for RareDrop here, so I've done quite a number of things, and I've made if you are on Twitch, I've made over 4,000 emotes on the platform. So I've made more
Dang.
emotes than you or everybody.
Whoa.
Right?
Gosh.
Right? Yeah. This one of the reasons I'm so excited to have this particular group of folks together is because I think all of you fall within that category of like, how do I define? How do I tell people what I do when I kind of do everything? Like some days I am an artist and some days I do this. Like I think one of the most beautiful aspects of living a more authentic existence is that it leaves so much room for our own individual evolution. Like you see something you like, you try it. If it works for you, that's one of your new things now. It's great. So I want to jump into some of these questions that we kind of discussed beforehand here, because in my stream, in my community, we talk a great deal about, you know, the path of content creation and about just in general, taking good care of ourselves, doing the things that feel right to us. What that doesn't quite account for, though, is that it can be scary, right? Like all of us are kind of at different stages of our journeys of being authentic and getting to a point where we can also like pay some bills off of us doing our own thing. In the beginning, I think it's undoubtable that we all experienced some fear. So I'm interested in hearing from each of you how you are able to kind of transcend that fear, what you do for yourself to amp yourself up, get focused or whatever. How do you get past that in order to pursue whatever thing it is that you're looking to do? And I'm going to start with you on this one, Eve, because if I remember correctly, drag is something that you've been wanting to do for a while. And you just recently, like how long has it been now since the debut?
I've been doing drag for only 3 months.
Yeah. So like, can you briefly tell us what happened to get you to say, you know what, I'm doing it all in?
So COVID has been such a horrible thing, but for me, COVID has brought me some really amazing friendships. And it's brought so many amazing people into my life that have really opened doors for me and has made me see the enjoyment in life. I was watching a lot of drag streamers on Twitch, and it's something that I've always wanted to do. And I always stopped myself because of, you know, the naysayers, let's say. And then finally I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I tried it out once and it was the best decision of my life. I never felt more, not only physically beautiful, but like just beautiful all around, like universally beautiful. And it has really shown me how I truly exist in the world, because a lot of people, they think with drag, it's like this persona that you create, but it's not. Like a lot of people are like, oh, who's Eve? Who's Eve? And it's like, Eve is me. Eve is Brandon. Eve is 100% genuinely Brandon, but it's that Brandon that kind of like tiptoes through life. This is who I am 100%. And it's absolutely amazing. It feels so good.
I think it's really beautiful because one of the things about authenticity that is so evident is just how it shows on people's faces. And, you know, I think all of us, I was watching everyone's faces, you know, our mirror neurons are firing and we're all just like smiling really big because you see Eve with this big, beautiful smile as she is talking about this, you know, evolution of doing whatever they want. That is awesome. That is the type of feeling that you all deserve, is to be able to talk about the things that you're doing and who you are as a person and have that smile on your face. Thank you for sharing that. I'm really glad that you decided to take that plunge and do it for yourself, because I hear it from other people who know you as well. it's so evident how much this has helped you.
100%.
Awesome. So speaking of smiles, we're just gonna let that be the perfect segue over to you, Dorcius.
Like, oh no.
So like same question. One of the things that I liked about you from the start was how many different things you do. Like I watched this video, y'all. Hopefully he'll post it out on Twitter. I will never stop talking about it. I watched him slice fruit in half with a sword.
Yep.
And he looked so like peaceful yet happy at the same time as people are like chucking big pieces of fruit to him and it's just done.
Yeah.
And now you're getting into art. I remember you having a little bit of concerns about even wearing certain clothes that you like to wear a long time ago. And it really seems like you're going full send you. So what made that change happen for you? How did you start getting past your own fears of being yourself?
I think one of the largest things for me was like, well, like I enjoy having fun. Like, why am I going to suddenly stop and worry about like I endeavor to do things that are fun and not hurt people. So if I'm doing that, like, oh, there's a lot I can do. Like, I can be doing whatever I want, really. So, when it came to like the video Snaps reference of me, like, do you want to dress up as a Jedi and slice pineapples in half? Yeah, of course I'm gonna do that. Like of course I'm gonna do that.
I forgot to mention that you were dressed as a Jedi at the time. That's an important detail.
Yeah. But it was like having a realization, and it actually occurred to me. Actually, I think one of the last Emerald City Comic Cons I had went to, because I had been an avid con goer, love comic books, love artwork. I have forever, and one of the repeat things that I loved doing was talking with the artists that I've met there. And one of them was like, well, like, don't have anything to lose, right? Like, could just be drawing, right? And I'm like, and of course you hear that from them. Like every time you see him, like, so you're drawing? I'm like, no, not yet. Like making some excuse. And then it turned into, I'm tired of making this excuse every time. I can be happy. What do I have to lose? Like, I can be drawing and doing what I want. So it was more of, hey, like me, chill out, stop making an excuse, go start drawing. You have literally nothing to lose. There's nothing to lose. And then same with like just expressing myself and being who I am on stream. Like, we all know is streaming, like you can't please everyone. Like that was a huge hurdle for me. I was like, why am I gonna worry about the people that don't like me? Like, cool. I'm just gonna dress how I want. I'm gonna show up and draw. Let's do it.
And as you can see on his face too, you're seeing the same thing. As people talk about doing their own thing, you can't help but smile. It gives this really nice strengthened feeling to everything you do. Like when you put out something, from my own experience especially, that doesn't feel like it's fully representative of you, if someone picks it apart, the whole thing crumbles. But if I put something out that's all me and you want to pick that apart, it's not going anywhere. Like I know what went into creating that, and that's each of us. We know what went into becoming the people who we are today. And as a result of that, I feel like that is unshakable. And that's something that everyone deserves. Con, as Dorcius was talking about all of the excuses for not doing art and things like that, I noticed there was something going on your face. We're going to jump over to you. Was there, it's hard for me to honestly believe that you have ever felt afraid of doing something, but I'm interested to know if you felt that at all in the same way that others here have, where it's like, oof, am I ready to put myself out there and do this new thing?
Probably not the same, no. The only reason I got into doing the things that I do was all by just happenstance. So just uncontrolled, just walking down the path and just seeing where it goes. I got back into doing art after I got, I think I talked about this in the last panel, but I have a rare neuromuscular autoimmune disease that, shut my body down. I couldn't see out of an eye. I couldn't use my hands. I couldn't walk for several months. I had an eye patch on, and I lost about 40 pounds or something like 30, 40 pounds. I was bedridden for quite some time, so I couldn't lift, I couldn't do martial arts, I couldn't do X, Y, and Z. It's like I might as well start trying to draw again. And somebody's like, "Hey, can you draw my avatar?" I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Can you do emotes? What's an emote? Yes, I can do that. So the fear is kind of like it. I don't think about it because it doesn't exist to me. Once you like you're on death's door, you can't swallow water, you can't eat food. You got a pipe in your neck. You got it's you're strapped down to a hospital bed. It's like, well, if this is the worst of it, I mean, what am I gonna do tomorrow? No, I didn't come this far to fail. And then tomorrow, I didn't come this far to fail. And the day after, and the day after, and the day after. So whatever I do is just be what I do. And if I die after that, I should be happy with what I did that day. If I'm not happy with what I did that day, I'm not doing what I want to do. And that's the biggest travesty, probably.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I know when I interviewed you on my podcast, we had some really nice discussions going kind of that route of your philosophical approach and how a lot of this happened. You being able to just be open to life definitely is such a lovely thing to see, especially given everything that's happened. And like I'm sure there are people who wrote that down just now. I didn't come this far to fail. Like, keep going. And if you have that openness to things, it tends to lead to some cool stuff. Like, he didn't even know what an emote was. And if you recall, as we started this, he's talking about how he had done 4,000 of them on Twitch now.
Yeah, I think I made 50 emotes before I even used Twitch. So,
wow. Yeah. So, regardless of whether you are experiencing a lot of fear about what comes next, there is a certain type of openness that I think has to come from within you before you start recognizing all of the opportunities that are everywhere. If you're stuck up here overthinking everything you do, someone comes to you and says, "Hey, can you do an emote for me?" and you don't know what it is, it's just going to be gone. It's going to be lost. And you might be missing an opportunity to be the next Young Khan with 4K emotes under his belt, doing all kinds of dope stuff. And really, like, if you all follow him on social media, you will see he puts out some good, like, inspiration regularly. Man's got some wisdom, and we love to see it. Okay, we're gonna move right over to you, Sonia. You've been in the game a long time. I can only imagine how weird it was for you being like one of the kind of like trailblazers of being an internet person. Like, because when I started, I know I got into it and there were people who already had a set idea of what it should be. And they tried to like push me into that. Did you notice that even though it was still relatively new when you got started?
Yeah, I feel like the gaming space is really interesting for I don't want to use the word like getting pigeonholed into a game because that's how people find you, that's how people, discover your stream. And at the beginning, I mean, I started my channel on horror games. I started doing horror games and League of Legends, but I guess the greatest growth that I found was through Minecraft. So I was kind of known as Minecraft YouTuber for a really long time and a Minecraft streamer. And then once I kind of realized that I was getting maybe a little bit burnt out and I'm like, I have other interests. I started playing other things. I started going into, like Counter-Strike and Overwatch and just kind of exploring within the gaming space. But then I got to a point where, similar to Dorsey has said, like, I got tired. I was like, I know that I have more dimensions than being a gaming personality. I have more to me than that. And I know that I've really connected with my community and connected with my audience. And knowing that I had other interests, I was like, you know what? Why don't I just try it? And I've always been into cars. I love, I love the automotive industry. I love everything to do with it. And I was going to a lot of different car meets. And then I was like, well, why don't I just do a quick little video and like see how it does? And then I started posting more car content. I started getting, more like brand deals in the car space and working with bigger companies in the car. And like it just grew from there. And it all came from, I just know that these are things that I'm interested in and I don't want to be pigeonholed into something specific into a specific game, into a specific industry, into anything, because these are all parts and faces of who I am. So, and it's kind of led to where I am today, I guess.
Yeah. What would you say is like your crowning achievement? Because I was creeping on all of you last night as like an additional reminder of how dope all of you are. And I realized that you have a Wikipedia page, which I was like, that's fun. Yeah, you have a legitimate Wikipedia page. And it said that you were doing like a retail job before you kind of said like, let's try content creation, which was very new at the time. So in your longstanding career now, what do you think is your crowning achievement out of all of that?
Oh man.
That's got to be hard to pin down because you've done a lot of really dope stuff. Seriously.
That is a really tough one. I think I think that getting Forbes 30 under 30 was an unbelievable and unexpected achievement, where I had heard that maybe I was on the list to get, potential whatever, and then the morning of when it was announced, I looked and I was like, oh, like did I actually make it? And then I looked and I was like, oh, well, I guess not. I'm like, I play Minecraft. I'm not, there's no way this is going to happen. And then I noticed that I missed that they had an entire gaming section, like just for people in the gaming category. And then I saw my stupid face on there and I'm like, what? So I think that was completely unexpected and probably something that I cherish a lot. That was unexpected and definitely summed up, coming from, I was in retail, getting out of like the foster care system. I was in a really difficult space, and then finding and being able to open up through this community and be myself and share things about myself and then grow to where I am now. I think that kind of encapsulates it for me.
Yeah. It's so cool to see. It's so inspiring, like really. And I think as content creators, especially when people tell us that we're inspiring, there's always that like, ooh, don't do that. But like we are in a totally new space now where we can encourage people to be their whole selves, whatever that turns into day to day, and know that there is some potential to make something out of that. So for you to come into it and say like, I was doing Minecraft, this is what a lot of people kind of like push aside as like silly gamer stuff. And yet here you are years later creating content of all different kinds, which this is something I tell people a lot. If you are going to be creating content for yourself, if you're trying to be a content creator, we have to be on as many platforms as we can be. But the goal is not to just have a space there. It's to be able to show people who you really are using the language of that platform. So I feel like you have done an especially good job of being consistent in who you are across the board. Because I am drawn to people who have a lot of stuff in common with me, like we all do. And the more you put out there, the more I'm likely to be like, oh, that too. So I was already excited to see the car content. And then the day when you posted about, when you posted about meditation, I was like, oh, me too.
Yes.
And that's what we're trying to create as content creators, is that feeling of, oh, you too? Cool. Let's be friends. Like that can carry you farther than you would think, my friends out there. Keep that in mind. Forbes, y'all. Forbes. Good stuff. Thank you for sharing that. Janelle, I'm super excited to talk to you because I can only imagine, like I have some friends who are singers, and they told me about the process of trying to apply for like American Idol and stuff like that. And I've heard some positives and I've also heard some horror stories. So I'm really interested in hearing how your journey of being your full authentic self has been shaped, being like a young woman who was on American Idol, like out in front of so many people, and then found your way to Twitch. Like I found you that day when you were drinking wine with your mom and having a great time. And like y'all were fabulous. I think you were switching hats like a lot.
We were very wacky.
Yeah. And I was just like, what is happening? Why are they so fabulous? This should not be allowed.
Well, I think that's a really big part of it. Is having a support system that really has your back. Like I know for a fact, I can't take the credit for anything without saying, like, my parents supported me from the jump. Like, I told them I wanted to be a singer and an actor and something when I was in second grade. I wrote music.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, okay, we have no idea.
Wait, hold on, pause. Did you say you wrote music when you were in second
did.
grade?
I started writing music in second grade. I went to my choir director at my church and I was like, hey, I have this song I wrote. I want to sing it in front of everyone. It's about Jesus.
I think I was still
Come on,
convinced
Beethoven.
at that age that I could grow up to be like a tiger. So that's pretty incredible. I'm like still crawling around and stuff, wearing my starter jackets.
God.
Like that's really awesome.
It's just, I just kind of knew all my friends wanted to play house and be like moms, and they carry around their baby doll. And I was like, I want to be a singer. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, it's crazy. I've been doing entertainment / music / whatever my whole life, basically, with parents, middle-class family, no experience, pretty much support, but not, they didn't, I would look up auditions as a kid and be like, here's an audition, take me here. Like they weren't stage parents. They weren't like, get on the stage, do the pageant. Like I didn't do any of that stuff.
Your mom wasn't in the aisles with the camcorder. Like,
yeah, yes. I remember my dad took me to an audition for Making the Band. I don't know if you guys remember that, Danity Kane. And he is so funny. He is like Simon Cowell. And he was just kind of like side-eyeing like everyone because there were hundreds of people. You're waiting in line for hours and hours and hours. But to get back to living authentically throughout entertainment and through music, because I've been streaming for 3 years, but I've been doing entertainment since I was a child. And my big break was 10 years ago on American Idol. I was one of the only people that was not scouted. I wasn't pre-scouted to get to the live shows. I was someone who stood in the line and waited for 10 hours against 10,000 people in my hometown and had to sing in front of, 7 different producers to get to that point where, which was a massive letdown because when I achieved all those levels and I realized that the people that were standing next to me were the ones that just had a manager who got them to the front of the line. I was just like, wow. So is this as big of an achievement as I thought when these people just walked right on and I fought for this. But I think I didn't have an identity more than anything. I didn't know. And when we talk about fear that arise, mine kind of got conquered through the show because I was so manipulated. I was so moldable. I wanted to be easy to work with my whole life. I've always wanted directors, music, industry people to always be like, wow, she was so good. She was so professional. She was so easy to mold. She could do whatever we told her to do. And so to my own detriment, I did that. Even on Idol, producers were like, that's not a good song. You should sing a different song. Meanwhile, the other people on the show were like, no, I'm singing the song I want. I was like, oh yeah. You want me to sing Taylor Swift? I'll sing Taylor Swift. I was a grown woman. I was selling wine for a living and I was trying to sing Taylor Swift love story. It's so unrelatable for me. That wasn't who I am. I was dancing on tables at bars. Like that's not who I was. And I was 23 and I had my own apartment and I was paying taxes. I had a 401k. Like I was just like, why? So the big takeaway for me was stop being moldable. Do what you love. And it took a long time to get there. I moved to Nashville after being on American Idol. I pursued it professionally for about 7-8 years. I was close calls, management, record deals, investors, countless projects, 3 different, bands that I was in. And it's so crazy because when I started to kind of like lose hope with music, which has been my life, my whole life, I've never wanted anything more than music. When I started to kind of mourn it and let it go, this is so crazy, another opportunity just kind of popped up. There was a casting that I saw and I had not acted or hosted or anything in years. And I saw, are you the biggest fan of The Walking Dead? Well, yeah, I'm the biggest fan of The Walking Dead ever. Okay, do you want to try to, there's an audition about, a recap show for The Walking Dead. Okay, country singing and then recapping The Walking Dead. They don't make any sense together. And I went and did it, and I got this role, and it's with a company, comicbook.com. And they have a huge platform for all the nerdy things that I was keeping hidden the whole time I was doing music. No one knew that I played video games. No one knew that I loved comics, that I was obsessed with superheroes. Like, no one. When I came out with it, people were so confused. And when I have people come in the chat all the time and go, oh, well, you had this like built-in audience when you came to Twitch because of American Idol. And I said, do you think even one person came over I would go on Facebook every day and go, hey guys, I'm live, come on over. I had one person that came over. I had 3 people watching me when I started streaming, and I even started with a platform. So I guess it takes a long time, and it's okay if you have missteps and you're still figuring yourself out, because it took me so long. And even now, it's weird for me to talk about my engagement, talk about my partner, talk about, I brought my parents on stream, all these, intimate looks into my life that I never had before, but they are my life and they're everything to me. And I am a full-time nerd, and I don't have to worry about producers telling me to love Taylor Swift.
Yes.
It's awesome. And if you want to see a terrible audition, you can watch me trying to sing Taylor Swift. I forgot the lyrics, and I actually made it like X-rated. It was really embarrassing. It was on national television. It was terrible, but I still got through.
I cannot wait to look that up now.
It's so bad. I've done so many stupid things. I did like a hosting thing for this Middle Eastern medical travel services where I'm like selling, I don't even know what I was selling, but I'm wearing a blazer and my hair looks terrible. I'm like, we are this company and you should come to, I've done so many, it's all the journey, and you have to laugh at yourself.
Yes.
You have to love yourself for the missteps and just the funny things you've done. I mean, it's so embarrassing, but now my community uses it against me, so it's great.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That I think you just touched on so many important things that I'm willing to bet all of us have kind of learned throughout our journeys of like doing our own thing. Is the more you do your own thing, the more likely you are to look back on some of the things that you did that weren't your thing and be like, oh my God. What was that?
So mortifying.
Oh, but if you hadn't had those silly experiences, which a lot of you out there right now watching are probably in the experience right now, like you might still be stuck doing that thing where you're like, oh, this is soul draining. I don't want to do this anymore. Now that you've seen it sucks, you're hearing from these lovely folks who are doing their own thing and have thrived as a result of it. Are able to say, you know what? I'm going to go full nerd. I'm going to talk about all the things I like. You won't like all of them, but that's fine. We will find more ways to connect. Like it makes such a massive difference. And in this world, if you are trying to monetize off of your own individual brand, you are allowed to be something more than just this one-dimensional, I'm a singer-songwriter, I am a Minecraft gamer, I only do these things. Like, do all of it. You might not like all of it, but like do it and find the stuff that works for you, and you will find some really great opportunities as a result. Having that mindset and mentality of what's an emote? let's give it a shot. Why not? I'm really glad to have heard all of that, and I can't wait to laugh at the videos that you referenced. So I'd like to get into, one of the things that was nice is a lot of your answers kind of tied two of the things we wanted to discuss in together, which is like when you are doing your own authentic thing, the criticism doesn't seem to like hit as hard, like it hits you and you're like, oh, you don't like this thing I like? Okay, cool. Like what am I supposed to do with that? That's your problem, not mine. But what I'm interested though in is how you take care of yourselves so that you can continue to do your own authentic thing, because burnout is real. Even if you're doing something you're passionate about, it is totally possible to get tired and say like, oof, I cannot do this anymore. So how do you care for yourself in this time while you're exploring all these different sides of yourself and while you're having all this fun doing the things that you like to do? And we'll start with you on this one, Eve. How do you take care of yourself to make sure that you have the energy, first of all, to put these looks together and then to manage, to deal with the type of attitudes you're going to get online and everything? Like, how do you take care of yourself?
So this one might get me emotional, and I'm just warning you now. I started streaming. I've been streaming for 3 years. I started streaming as Valicus, portraying, this stereotypical, bearded, big muscle guy, blah, 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 and gaining a following off of that, and realizing that I wasn't happy, and then changing to drag, making me happy, and then losing that following that I had. And that right there was almost soul crushing to me, because I'm like, wow, these people that I thought were, these part of my community are leaving me. But the most amazing thing is that when they were leaving, people were coming in. People were joining me and following me and loving me for me. Here I go. So I don't have many family members. As a queer individual, I have to rely on my chosen family. And when I look at the chat right now and I'm seeing all of these people that are part of my community, the people that I rely on, that boost me up, that even though I'll have a wonky eyebrow or my eyeliner won't match or I won't look as pretty as I wanted to, they'll be in my chat, they'll be in my Discord, they'll be on my socials telling me that I'm the greatest thing. And that right there, having people to fall back on, is 100% the thing that pushes me through all of it. No matter how many trolls I get in chat, no matter how much hate I get in chat, none of that matters, because I have amazing people. I have an amazing drag family from the Stream Queens that supports me and loves me. I have an amazing community in the Evo Kingdom, or Queendom, my bad, Queendom. So having those people who just love me and support me for me and see the person that I am, 100% is what gets me through it.
That's beautiful. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you're getting that support. And I remember when I switched from being like SheSnaps the angry gamer to suddenly being like, turns out I was a toxic individual. Maybe I don't want to do that anymore. I went through the same thing as you, where it's like the community just disappeared. I went from streaming to like hundreds to streaming to like 15 to 30 again.
Mm-hmm.
And it hurt, but at the same time, there was that very satisfying sensation of like, every person who comes in here now likes me, like actually likes what I'm up to. So I'm really glad that you have that. What I'm looking for now is I'm interested in if you can do it quickly so that we can make sure we can hear from everyone. What types of things do you do in your habits and your routine to keep yourself feeling more, mentally and physically well to handle everything that you're doing in life?
Being open to critique, also being mindful of your levels, your percentages. Like if you are not feeling 100%, don't do the thing that you think that you should do. Always make sure that you are at your 100% before you go in to do anything, because stream exhaustion is real and it will wear you out. Streaming is fun. Curating communities is fun. It's not meant to be a chore. It's not meant to be excruciating pain and hard work and not hard work, but hard. It's not supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be, fun. This is supposed to be fun.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, Dorcius, you are you're a martial artist. You're apparently a Jedi, which I forgot to mention the first time, which is obviously very important. And now you're getting into drawing your wonderful anatomically correct or maybe emphasized art that we very much enjoy. how do you take care of yourself to make sure that you don't burn out on all these things that you're doing?
I would say I share some of the same aspects that Eve talked about, where like falling back on my community routinely. They are the ones keeping me on task when I'm like, well, I'm not that great. It's not that good. Like, I'm going to show up to your house and I'm like, and we're going to, I'm like, okay. Like, it's fine. But I think the other thing too is just, you tweeted it out the other day. Give yourself a break. Like, pump the brakes a little bit. Like if it's not working, that's okay. Maybe you need to step away. And that was even something I learned when I actually went to college to be a writer. Like, so I was looking at an artistic view and creative view from a different side. And one of the things that we talked about all the time was step away for a bit, put the piece in the drawer, come back later, look at it with fresh eyes. So why wouldn't I do that with everything else? Like, and one of the other things that I enjoy doing, if I feel like I'm in that rut, or if like I'm at that point where, oh, this could be burnout or exhaustion, I'm gonna go chill with somebody else. Con sees me all the time. Other artists see me all the time in their chats. So like, I'm just gonna go hang out. We're gonna vibe, and if it's, hey, I'm stuck on something, and maybe there's advice that's thrown my way, cool. Other times, if it's just, hey, I'm here to recharge my batteries just by interacting with the people that share my interests, great. Like, I don't need to like suddenly go down that internet rabbit hole of, oh, I'm gonna find all the negative comments on my stuff because I knew they were right. Like, come on. Like, let's take that time to recharge and be with other people that share the like interest, or just go into one of the other of the multiple avenues that we all know we have, because it's not just one box. Like, if anything, the one box we have is just the one that has our name on it, and there's all kinds of stuff on the inside, right? So go play with the other stuff that's in the box.
Yes. Beautifully said. Eve, you had something you wanted to add to that?
I just networking. That's why networking is so important. Finding people that share that same interest as you, because let's say you're stuck on something, fall back on them. Especially if you created that relationship with that individual, fall back on them. Ask them questions, especially if they're seasoned and experienced in what you're doing. They probably went through that same exact thing that you're going through, and they have a solution for it. Don't be afraid to reach out for help from people that know different things than you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. Okay. And that also kind of leads us into when you're talking about networking and how to take good care of yourself. One of the things that kind of cracked me up when I met Janelle is we're very enthusiastic people. Like, I told her in her stream, I was like, listen, I friendship hard. And she's like, don't you tell me that. I friendship hard. And I was like, girl, I already followed every one of your accounts. You are my new friend. She's like, listen, I say this to a lot of people, and then it doesn't work out. I end up feeling weird, like I'm coming on too strong.
Like,
and I was like, no, dude, we got this. We are people who friendship hard.
I was literally like finding everyone on this panel just now while we were chatting so I could follow them. I swear to God, it was happening just now. Check your Streamlabs. I just dropped a follow. It's so great.
It's so fun though. Yeah. Like, I think that's networking in this new space is a lot more like making friends. And I think part of being really authentic is also being that kind of like nervous, like, oh man, when I like people, but I love that you were like full send friendship from the start, because that takes a lot of the pressure off of being like, oh, where do we stand? Does she think I'm crazy? Because I literally just like went through her entire Instagram and was like, that picture you posted in 1991, that was fire, girl.
That's so great though. I feel like it's also really awesome because we all friendship differently. We all support differently. And I'm one of those people where I can go, a long time, even with very, very close friends, not even interacting. And then they come in the chat or I talk to them on the phone or something. And it's like no time passed at all. And I know we're all different, and I know different people have different expectations. And I think the best way to kind of get through that is communication, because I know that I do have friends that need more of my energy, need more of my time. And I don't call, you have to call me. And it's just great to like actually communicate. I think that's really, really important for sure. And also on that same note, the way that I take care of myself is to choose my tribe, like choose who surrounds me, because I have definitely fed into toxic friendships, relationships, cliques of people. It's been very enlightening to see, just even through the pandemic, like who still even continues any kind of a social life with me whatsoever, because there is no one. I mean, people are not going, hey, let's have a Zoom call, like my party friends that would go out, and they're all out of the bars right now. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm high risk. I can't be out there, and you don't talk to me anymore. So I think it's really important to choose your tribe. That's one way to really kind of combat the fear, the frustrations, and, on top of taking breaks when needed, have friends that know they know your style of criticism, right? So I personally don't like a friend that is very aggressive and in my face. I need the gentle friend. That's just how I am. I need a little push, like, hey, do you think you could have done it that way? Or maybe if you tried, I'm not someone who's like, you need to get your stuff. Like, that's just not my style. But there are people out there that love that. And you find your people. And I feel like that's really helpful in that, dealing with all of that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So in terms of kind of guarding against the potential burnout of doing all these dope things that you're doing right now, you mentioned taking breaks. Is there anything else, if you can touch on like one thing that you probably could not go without in terms of self-care?
Oh gosh. This is so silly, but one of my mottos for the stream is eat your kale. Like eating in a healthy way, eating whole foods. I know that sounds so heady.
I don't think it does at all.
Food is fuel. And I literally will eat a kale salad every day, a huge honkin' kale salad with tons of vitamins and minerals. And then for dinner, I'm going to go eat my pizza. And I'm going to have a donut for dessert. But as long as I just give my body some kind of nourishment throughout the day, I love, I got to make sure I'm drinking my water before I drink my tequila. I think that, getting out there and connecting with nature for me personally is something that it is so healing. Putting down the phone, putting down social media. It took a long time for me to get there, but I don't accept DMs, and it's because I can't carry the weight of the world on my shoulders. And I was getting so much, asking for help emotionally and like almost in like a therapy sort of way. And that is why I've been really selective with what I take in. When I'm streaming, I give every single bit of my energy, my time. My phone is on silent. My pee breaks are far few and in between. And I dedicate myself to that chat and to that stream. But when the stream is over, the PC's off, the phone is off. I go hang out with my fiance. We cook dinner together. We sit down, we talk about our lives. And I take a break from social media because it really messes with me if I am too far immersed in it. So that's what works for me.
I appreciate that. That's especially for those of you in the community here that are watching that have any aspirations of becoming a content creator. Definitely be aware that there will be that desire or that pull or even that pressure from people for you to be on all the time. Like when the IRL directory got launched on Twitch, which is now just chatting, I remember I was still being known as the Iron Streamer at that point because I was on all the time. And I had very little time away from my stream. And at that point, because the IRL directory was on and people were starting to do cooking streams and they were starting to do all these different things, suddenly I felt like I was no longer entitled to my own time. Like my job, my life was supposed to be in sharing everything I did. What are you doing? You're shutting down stream? Like, yeah, I got to go eat food. Just stream it. Just go to just chatting. Just go to IRL. I'm like, but I want to eat. I want to cook. Yeah, but just go set up your camera. I'm going to go take a bath. Yeah, just do a mobile stream. Like, no, bud, not everything in my life is for y'all now. Like, I understand that we as creators do owe a lot of what we do to our communities and to our audiences, but there is definitely a line between knowing what our kind of responsibility is to our communities and the entitlement that can start to build. So as Janelle was saying, have some guidelines for yourself, or else you will get caught up in this so hard. Khan, I'm interested in hearing from you. You are like so in so many different things, like even just seeing your bookshelves behind you. I remember when we talked on my podcast and I was like, what book do you think is your favorite? And you pulled out like 6. You know, like you are a man who does a lot of things and seems interested in a lot of things. How do you best care for yourself so that you can have the energy to do so much?
I guess a lot of things I do are obligatory because of its nature of my business. I do a lot of design work. So what I do every day is, even though I'm doing it live, I do 1 to 2 hours of just something I want to draw. So I took a decade off from drawing. I didn't do anything creative for a whole decade. So around 24, 25, I started teaching at high school. I bought a house. I was doing that full time, working, waiting tables during the summertime. So art just kind of like collapsed into like the nether realm until I got sick. And then I got sick and came back and started doing art again. What I do is when I start creating things every day, I do it 7 days a week. And then I do it after stream. It's the only thing I can compare it to is what, if anybody's heard of CT Fletcher, he's a bodybuilder, power lifter, had a bad heart. He had 3 heart attacks. It's what's called a magnificent obsession. I am magnificently obsessed with creating and getting better at everything I do. Now, how I care for myself is indulging that obsession as much as I can without hurting myself.
How do you gauge that line of full send this and self-destructive full send?
The thing is, most of my life I've done mostly just hard jobs. I grew up doing construction, roofing, plumbing, drywalling. So it was 10 hours a day, sledgehammer breaking up concrete. So when I get to sit down and draw, you do that for a decade. This is kind of like, it's been 12 hours. It's 4 a.m. It doesn't even register how much time's going by because it's all about the way you frame your life. Like if you grew up carrying 700 pounds of like trash back and forth for 8 hours a day, and then you move on 10 years later down the road, you're sitting down sketching cute faces and you're like, the time just goes past so fast, but when you're in the sun, the framing of how you do things is going to be way different from person to person. The best analogy, if any, anime people in the chat is, there's always the guy who was wearing the 1,000 pound leg weights, arm weights, and backpack. And then all of a sudden you just take a lot off. You're like, I got all the energy in the world. I can do this all day. I can do this all week.
That's a good feeling to be doing something that you love. And that's that old quote of like, do something you love and you never work a day in your life. Like it's still work, but it definitely hits different. Yeah,
it's a different experience for me because everyone's experiences are going to frame how they interpret things in their life. If you haven't had any hardships, your first heartbreak is going to be devastating.
Yes.
But you experience 2 or 3, you're going to become jaded. So everything you do, all experiences are going to be, placed differently through the way we view our lives. Like if you had never experienced any hardship and then you all of a sudden lost your ability to see, walk, talk, swallow water, swallow food, you might give up. But I grew up in a very harsh reality, a very harsh neighborhood. I grew up in Detroit. I got shot when I was an infant. So I caught a stray bullet, at 8, 9 months old. So everything up after that point is like, this is all downhill. I don't know what this caring for myself is doing what I want to do every day. and doing it well. I could always do it poorly, but what's the fun in that?
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like a very unhealthy answer to most people, that I do as much as I do as often as I do. But when you put it in context with everything I've experienced,
And with the mindset that you have, because that makes a drastic difference in how things go. I really appreciate you sharing that. And folks, we only have so much time to talk to these wonderful humans today, but I did a podcast episode with Khan on my MindOfSnaps podcast that I would definitely recommend that you take a look at, because we go into a little more detail about some of the things that he just shared with us. Sonia, I'm interested in hearing from you. And I don't know, do you have to run like right at the 1 hour mark? Are you running out of time?
We got some time to play with.
A little wiggle room? Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
we got a little wiggle room.
Cool. Well, then, same question to you. How do you care for yourself while doing all these things that you do? And like you just did a move, and there's always something going on, right? How do you keep yourself from burning out? How do you stay healthy?
Yeah, I real quick, I love how Janelle covered just eating kale.
Yes.
And taking care of yourself, because there's so much of eat your kale. There's so much of like what you put into yourself and what you put into your body is what you're gonna get out, right? If you're feeding it garbage, whether it's food or ideals or anything like that, that's what you're gonna get out. So I really appreciated that. I wanted to throw that in real quick.
Yes.
But I thinking back when I first started streaming, the first couple of years of streaming, I was on. I mean, I was up with you with the iron streamer of being on, 6 days a week, anywhere from 5 to 9 hours a day, maybe more, doing 12-hour streams. And then afterwards, I'm like cutting that down and then recording another video. So I was uploading 2 videos to YouTube a day. And like, it was just so much. And then I feel very similar when they added, IRL, where it's like, okay, well, now I'm going to go eat. And then it's like, well, why don't you just do that here? And I'm like, it's a lot. And you definitely streamer burnout is real. But I think a lot of it comes back to at least 2 things for me, is being able to listen to my body in so many ways, because there's so many answers. There's so many answers in there, whether you're doing something that you're not as passionate about, or if you're feeling tired going into a stream or anything like that. There's so many answers in your body. You just have to take a second to look, right?
Yes.
Really feel it out and really feel how you feel about it. But I think a lot of it too is our jobs are so 24/7, and they can be 24/7 if we allow it to be, but being able to respect your time and space so that other people can also respect your time and space. Like if you're like, I have a set stream schedule, and as Janelle said, phones off, 8 p.m. phones off, I'm out. That's such a good boundary to set within yourself and for your community, to know that like I need to go cook dinner with my fiance and like have some space. So I think being able to respect your time and space is really important. And I didn't really notice how little I was doing that until COVID hit, where I was traveling nonstop. I was out every week in December and January, in different places. And then finally when everything hit, and now I'm like, okay, I can't travel. I like, what's going on? And I didn't realize, I'm so tired. I didn't realize how tired I really was. So being able to set those boundaries, I think is really important. And one last thing too, I guess it kind of plays into it as well. I think Khan maybe can speak a little better on I'm no Khan, but a lot of, with working out too is a good pairing with that is recovery. You need that recovery time for your body, for your muscles, and being able to take that mentality and apply that to what you're doing, where you're flexing your streamer muscles, you're putting in the time, but you do need the recovery to rebuild and to feel better and give your body that time.
Yeah, you're taking in so much information throughout the day, and especially if you're doing this like content creator lifestyle where you're kind of doing a million different things, like you're always reading and learning, and you're out exploring, and all of that is getting like accumulated. And if you don't stop and look at it once in a while, you're just carrying it from place to place to place. And then travel stops and you sit still for a minute and you're like, whoa, holy crap. I had all of that with me this whole time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And learning to listen to your body. Like we just did a panel yesterday on caring for yourself during COVID. And that was one of the things that was mentioned is like our bodies are always talking to us. They're trying to tell us in the same way our minds are like, hey, chill out. What are you doing? I'm tired. I ache. Do you not stretch anymore, woman? What are you doing?
Yep.
So learning how to be mindful, learning how to check in more often and be like, what is my body doing? What is it telling me? Like, am I achy in a place that maybe I haven't moved in a while? Maybe I need to get back on my yoga. Am I feeling really overwhelmed? Because for me, that's typically a sign that I've been doing what we just talked about. I've been collecting, and not allowing myself to sift through any of it and not allowing myself to release some of it. It's so important.
And you're like, oh, my throat's a little scratchy. Maybe I haven't drank nearly enough water today, period. So, I like how we all just...
Yeah, thank you.
Stay hydrated, y'all.
Cheers.
Yeah, that's all super important. How much time do y'all have? Are you good for some Q&A real quick?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So because we have some wonderful folks here, we'll just say if you have something that you feel like adding to this, then just throw a finger up and I'll call on you. So this is actually something that I was going to ask, so I'm glad that someone else did. Anonymous has asked, how do you deal with hate? And has it ever influenced you in your decision to stay authentic?
I feel like it can definitely be tough looking through YouTube comments and then seeing, the rough ones that really make you question a lot. But for me personally, it's kind of two things. I try not to, it's again with the kale. You get in or you get out what you put in. And if I keep reading these bad comments and if I keep engaging with it and if I keep giving it that space and energy in me, it's like that's what will eat me up. So not giving it nearly as much energy as I need to, or not as I need to, as it's trying to call for.
Yes.
And also knowing that that's like the 2%. Right?
Yes.
Like the 2% of your comments. And if you can, reconnect with your community and know that like the 98 to 99% of other very positive comments are meaningful and they're from people who are meaningful in supporting you and they love your content and they love what you do, and just trying to take that top and just skim it off and just not really give it as much energy as it's demanding.
Isn't that so hard though? Because I feel like we have all these great comments and then we get like one bad one and it's just, it like eats at me. It ruins me. I hate that.
One
and
thing,
actually, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, with that, one thing that I try to keep in mind is if somebody's lashing out like that, there is a very high potential that they as an individual are hurting or are upset or sad about something, and in their own lives they are unhappy, so they're lashing out at somebody who is living their most genuine self. So to keep that in mind, to be as compassionate as you can be, is probably the most crucial thing that I've learned, especially because I get a lot of hate based off of my drag, as a queer individual. People hate me just because of my existence, so it's like a lot of people are very, very vocal about their dislike for not only myself, but like queer people in general. So it's nice that I can remind myself that people are looking up to me. And I learned this from a very amazing person that I look up to so much, dear. She told me that people look up to you. Like people are looking up to you right now and they are being inspired by you. And that's very, very, very important to remember that, because how you react to things, somebody is looking at that and being like, oh, I should react like that. And that's not the case. So always remember that, they lead with compassion always, no matter what it is. Like, in the end of the day, I'm going to be happy. I'm happy for who I am. But lead with compassion always.
That is 100% my jam right
Cool.
there. Always leading with compassion. And like, especially being, like I said earlier in this cast, being someone who at one point was a toxic person. Like I never sought out someone deliberately to just target and like be unkind to them. But I was always hoping that someone would try me so that I could push whatever I was feeling off onto them. Because I was so angry that there were days where someone would say something and I would be like, all right.
Yeah,
Good.
crack your knuckles. Let's
Yeah.
go.
I'm glad it was you. We're going to have some words about your mother's hobbies, you know, like we're about to get into that. But like that, it doesn't serve anything. You know, it really doesn't, because hurt people. These are people who they are not seeing you. They are seeing through you. They're seeing something that stands out as something that they're jealous of, something that they wish they had in themselves, something that they hate in themselves. And you were just the first person they kind of stumbled upon. So that's kind of how I managed to get through the rude stuff that people say and the disgusting stuff. Is just like, this has nothing to do with me. If I wasn't live today, you would have been pushing this same BS off on the next person you found. Like, this is all about them and not about me. And the avoiding the negative comments, it is important, because like I'm a pretty positive person. I have that mentality of like, whatever, who cares? But if you read enough of those, it is just like skipping that kale. Like you're just eating crap all day. You're eating this crap. And if you don't address it, it will change the way that you look and interact with the world. It will change the way that you treat yourself. So there does have to be some boundaries, like both Sonia and Janelle, like you have to have a little bit of time away from it. And please, everyone, please make this clear to yourself. It does not matter how awesome you are, and you are all awesome. Someone out there hates your guts. They think you suck. Someone does. It doesn't matter if you're a content creator or not. Someone thinks that you're just the worst. Who cares? Who cares? It is not about you. Keep doing your own thing, because for the same people who think you suck, there's a whole bunch of other ones who think every authentic, dope thing that you do is the coolest thing ever. So don't get hung up on the hate. Like it's a part of the job, but it's also a part of life. Just is what it is. Anyone else have anything they want to add on to how to deal with the hate that comes in from being a content creator, being out and kind of public in the world like this?
I just really loved what Eve said about, and just to echo that again, of it's not a reflection of you, that it's a reflection of them.
Yes.
You know, and just being able to keep that in mind. I feel like that was a really good.
Yeah. I talked about it yesterday on our panel too. Like when I was at my worst, when I was as angry and sad and like just miserable as I was, I genuinely did not believe that happiness existed in the world. So when I saw people who were really bubbly and really smiley and seemed genuinely happy, I felt disgust. I felt angry, because I felt like what they were doing was acting better than the rest of us do. So I was like, why do they get so much attention for being so nice? That no one is that nice. Yeah, no one is that nice.
And I hate it. I went on a
so
huge
sad
podcast and I was positive and I was just enjoying myself so much. And I was so happy to be there and so excited. And I'm doing what I love. So I'm going to be happy. I am not driving in solid traffic where I literally want to rip someone's head off. I am happy. I'm doing what I love. And I've been called fake. I've been called phony. That is probably my most said thing. And it bugs me. And yes, I have lots of people who I just rub the wrong way because I'm too bubbly and I'm too happy. And that doesn't mean also try not to judge people that I don't have down times, that I don't have massive anger issues, or, you know, I get really, really salty and angry and I say ugly things and I do terrible things and I'm just like everybody else. But yeah, man, that happens way too much, I feel. And I feel like you were definitely one of the people that would hate me back then.
Back then, yeah, I would have hated myself. If I stumbled on my stream, I would have been like, wow, she sucks. Like, she is probably a serial killer. Like, bodies underneath the garage or something, because no one is that happy. No one is that nice.
I wish I had a garage.
Like, it was impossible for me to see it. You know, I really thought, because I had not experienced it myself, I didn't think that it was real. So I think for those of you out there who are doing this, like, remember that people who see you and think you're fake or phony, like it's still their stuff. It's not you. Keep doing your own thing.
That's a good point I'm sorry, but that was a good point. Is the person you were in the past, as long as you don't remain in that ignorance of anger and upsetness and all that, you can grow and learn as a human. We are not perfect at all.
You should be growing. I'm going to go one step further, like should be growing.
All the time. Never, ever wake up in the morning thinking that you've learned everything that you possibly could, because you haven't. And it's always great to keep that in mind of what can I learn today? What can I, change today, or what can I make beautiful today? Always allow yourself the vulnerability of learning.
Yes. Okay, we're going to move on to another question real quick. And if any of you have to go, I understand that there's time stuff. Just let me know and we can send everyone to your stuff as you're heading out. The next question is, any advice for someone trying to leave the corporate world to get into content creation? The look.
I mean, mine took an audition. I had to, I was working full time, but here's the other thing. I know that I wasn't on Twitch and I wasn't an online content creator, but I was an artist. And if this is what you really want to do, like, you will make it work. I was working a full-time job. I was touring on the weekends, trying to build up enough, fan base or something to actually pursue it. I was taking sick days to go do auditions, which is what I did for American Idol. And I was just grinding for years, trying to do it all. And, sometimes you have to get through the hard stuff. Sometimes you really have to push through, because you still got to pay your bills. You still got to, live life, and just know that, like, that extra time that you're doing what you love is not time wasted. It's like, you are still doing what you love and you're working towards a goal. And just because you have to put in this side stuff, like, that's okay. Give yourself time. Just keep going. Don't give up. Just keep going. I mean, I swear I've been at this for my whole life and I'm still, like, not even there yet, but I'm loving the ride and, putting in the work, doing what I need to do. Heck yeah.
Yes. I would love to hear from you now, Dorcius. I see you raising that finger.
Yeah. Because that question is actually something that is, like, in my head currently. Like, getting set up for the podcast was like, talk to my boss, like, I got this really cool thing we're gonna do. Can I have some time, like, to come do this? And it's like, yeah, and it's a lot of, you don't need to rush, is what I'm finding out, and what I've been watching other people that are doing the same thing or have done the same thing. Like Janelle said, do this, put in that side work, take that time, like, because it's leading to what you want, right? Like, that it will never be time wasted. And then, like, for me currently, it's like, well, I still got to eat. I still got bills to pay. My insurance is pretty good. Okay. Maybe I'm not, like, gonna, like, I'm not going to get rid of that, like, but I'm still going to keep building myself up on my art. For me, it was like, okay, well, I'm just going to start drawing on stream all the time. Okay, cool. Like, sweet. I kind of want to open an Etsy store. Yeah. All right, let's do that. I open an Etsy store. And so it's like, slowly taking those steps, maybe, one at a time. It's just like, hey, if you think you could do, a side gig where, oh, do you want to draw commissions for people? Like, and that's going to start netting you money. Oh, look at that, and see, I can see Con smiling, because I've heard him talk about it. And it's like, it's like, your job better look out when it starts saying, like, hey, I'm pulling in, like, a lot of commissions and stuff that's starting to look like a number I see already all the time. So it's like, start maybe, well, not maybe, do it. Just do it. Start going down that path. That is what you want. That is exactly how you start to get away from that. Because each step you take isn't, and I had to think about this, is when you take that step, there's fear. but it's not like you're jumping out of a plane. You're not walking off a cliff. It's more of, this is you maybe waking up to what you wanted to do this whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So instead of having it be a fear and like, oh God, if I leave this corporate, it's more like, well, if I do this, I get to be doing the things I want to do. So just maybe do that little bit of research if that's what it takes.
Yeah.
If like, you're like, oh, well, today I just researched and okay, I didn't get that far. Like, cool. You still took a step forward. Just keep taking another one.
You did
And
something.
then, right. And then eventually maybe you'll have that break. Maybe it'll work out where, oh, look, I don't need to be here at corporate anymore. I'm waking up and I'm being me. Cool.
Yeah.
Like this.
And there's also another side to that too. There's always that potential that you're protecting yourself a little bit by not just jumping straight into this, because
Right.
this is a hard thing to do and it's not for everyone. So by kind of testing the waters, trying out some different things, you may find that content creation is just not the thing for you, and that's totally okay too. Sonia, did you have something that you wanted to add?
Yeah, I saw Janelle also reply to it in the chat too, that there was a really good comment about, here's my advice to do some research on content that you like to stream about. Don't spend a lot of money right away in equipment. And I think that that's so important, because everyone's like, I gotta have the gamer setup, I gotta have this. But thinking back, I mean, when I started 7 years ago, I had a webcam stacked on top of sticky notes. And I had a laptop that was overheating to the point that it was burning my legs sometimes if I had it on my lap. And like, you know, I had a fold out chair with you know, cushions on it, and it wasn't glamorous, but that's what the setup was. And it was just, you know, this outlet of, or this vessel that made it possible for me to do something that I really loved. In between, I was still in college, I was studying programming, I was working full time, and then at the end of the day, from like 8 p.m. until whenever I could go to bed, I had my webcam stacked on sticky notes, and I could pop on and say, hey, and play League of Legends. You know, it was about kind of building that community. But I think there's something so important about not just dropping hundreds and, you know, thousands of dollars into a setup when it's not something fully concrete, and like testing the waters, right?
Yeah. And it takes a while for the majority of people I know, even ones who have achieved like massive success now. It takes a long time. You know, like Ninja is someone who has now been kind of viewed as like the pinnacle of success in terms of like our region here, all of the stuff we do. And he's been doing this for a long time. Like, he didn't just buy a bunch of fancy equipment, hop online, be a great gamer, and then suddenly he's famous. Like, this was hard work. He was doing the tournament scene. Like, you want to test it out a little bit, make sure that this is actually right for you before you start dropping massive dollars. And definitely be aware that, especially if you're going that authentic route, if you're not allowing people to say you have to play this type of game or else I won't be there, the progression from what I've seen tends to be a little bit slower, but it's also very satisfying, you know, very satisfying. So were you going to add to that?
Oh yeah, no, because this is something that I've done 3 years ago. I left, it wasn't corporate, but I have a home, I got a mortgage, I have health insurance, I'm supporting my lady who's in school, I've got, you know, animals, I've got lights, gas, school payments, you know, I got bills coming out of the years. Transitioning over from a job, which was bartending, which was very well, you kind of have to put your toe in. And by put your toe in, I mean grind it out after work, before and after, for several months. And I transitioned out of that, doing that kind of work, making a, you know, a decent amount of money, you know, working 4 or 5 days a week as bartender, to doing this where I triple my income in the second year. What is important is not just grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding, but doing it intelligently. Because you can't just rely on subs, you can't rely on sponsorships, you can't rely on, you know, just one revenue stream to sustain your well-being. The important thing is to find out if you want to do this. If you want to do it right. But it doesn't mean doing it right doesn't mean putting, like you said, $1,000 into it. Doing it right means, as we're spotting today, is doing it authentically.
Mm-hmm.
People are attracted to authenticity. The phonier you are, you may get really big really fast, and then you're going to burn out. You're going to hate yourself, and then your community is going to hate you right after that. So moving from a corporate job or a job that's sustaining you and your well-being, moving into that other space means taking it seriously and then finding out if it's viable. If it's not viable, don't quit your corporate job. There may be another section in content creation that is not streaming, that may be for you. It might be editing, it might be advertising, it might be promotion. But don't just step out like, you know what, I quit. You have any income? Make good decisions, but do what you love to do.
Yes. And I like that you especially mentioned, like, maybe content creation isn't the thing, but it's something around it. I think when people think a little bit more generally and they look for the root of what it is that appeals to them about like what we do here, they many times find that it's the connection that they like the most, or that it's the creativity that they like the most. And there are lots of ways to be connecting to people, to be creating things that aren't just be the best streamer, be the best content creator. Like, keep it open, keep yourself and your mindset open. And again, going back to that same thing that you mentioned earlier, Con, of like, what's an emote? And then you did 4,000 of them. I'm trying so hard not to swear over that because that's very exciting. Like, that's the type of mindset that helps you create your own thing that is typically comprised of a lot of stuff. Like, if I had let myself stay stuck in the, like, I just want to be the best streamer. Like, I don't even know what that means. That makes no sense to me. It would have eliminated the mindful coaching, like the one-on-ones I do now, the little mindfulness podcasts, all the little things that like I love doing. I sit down to do those one-on-one sessions with people and I leave jacked up like I just drank espresso. Like, I'm so happy after. And that's something that if I had been locked into that, like, gotta be the best streamer because that's what they want from me, I would have missed it. I would have missed out on that opportunity. So it's super important. And I want to be mindful of all of your time. So I would love it if we could head into one of the final things that we had kind of discussed before this. I'm interested in hearing from each of you. What is the best advice that someone gave you while you were on your journey towards becoming or unbecoming, towards being where you are right now? And we'll start with you on this one, Sonia.
I keep going back to just listening to your body. And one thing that I guess in the last couple of years where, you know, not transitioning to, but involving more interests of, you know, from gaming to cars and now more mindfulness and, you know, taking yoga teacher training and everything in between. There's one phrase from a yoga class that stuck with me the last year or so. And it's, you know, she meant it more so in poses and using it specifically in poses, but I've kind of taken it into life where you're not here for long, but you're here right now. And you're here right now. And what do you enjoy about this moment? And what do you enjoy about what you're doing? And what can you let go of a little bit more? And I think it kind of just comes back to listening to your body. Are you exhausted? Are you not feeling this anymore? Do you need to eat your kale? Do you need to drink your water? Like, what do you need? And just tuning into that more.
Thank you. Yeah, that's perfect. Janelle's stock in kale is rising. I'm sure she's thrilled about this.
God, I need a sponsorship.
The first kale millionaire. Okay. Dorcius, what about you? What's the best advice you've received?
I think it's been augmented a little bit just because I feel like it's like always been a tie between two things. My dad, who I was always referred to on stream as Papa Dorse, streams said hi to him a couple times, and one of the things he has reminded me, and he even reminded me before like this, like he sent me a text yesterday. He's like, big day tomorrow. You're going to do great.
Oh, that's the cutest thing ever.
And he's like, at the end of every day, the person, like, even barring like if you're in a relationship, married or not, you have to live with you. You have to live with you. So I take that now in these days, like, why would I want to live with an unhappy me or a disingenuous me? I wouldn't be happy with me if I don't want to be like looking like my past self looking at me like, dude, you're a poser now. like I have to live with me. So I should do my best to just let myself do what I want, feel what I feel. And at the end of the day, then you'll be okay.
Yes. Love it. Love it. What about you, Con? What's the best advice you've gotten that you'd like to pass on?
Oh, I had two quotes in my mind. One is kind of dark. I think I want to talk about that one.
Now I'm interested. You can't tease us with that.
Okay, I'll give you both. The first one is a quote from one of my favorite books called The Hagakure. It's a book on the way of the samurai by Tsunetomo. And it says, one should be like an angry ghost or a vengeful ghost. Even though a samurai's head is cut from his body, he should be able to perform one action with extreme certainty. So everything I do cuts to the heart of what I want to do. That's the dark one.
Oh, was it? Okay, what's the other one?
So it's a quote from my dad. And I heard this a lot growing up. I started doing construction work when I was like 7 or 8 years old, picking up tools, being a gopher, then picking up trash, then, hauling shingles and stuff like that. Like, well, do you want to eat tonight? I'm like, yeah, I want to eat. I was like, well, you better get to work. He would tell me this, and it's permeated everything I do. Do it right or get out the way. You want to get paid tonight? Yeah, I want to get paid. Well, do it right. Then you
beautiful. Just straightforward. Love to see it. Do it right.
That's the advice I ever got.
That's awesome.
That's the advice I ever got. Those two pieces of advice.
Yeah. All right, Janelle, what about you?
I have another dad quote. My parents have seen me fail a lot. I was always taught and told you don't share any of your failures. I always was told that in the entertainment industry, just never talk about it. Don't ever acknowledge it. Don't ever show it. Just always show your wins. Look like you're winning all the time. You want to look like a star. And anyways, my dad one time told me, I was really upset about one specific audition in particular. And it said it was so basic, but it's so real. He just looked at me and he said, you have to create your own happiness. No one's going to give you happiness on a platter. No one's going to give you anything. You have to create it. Just like you have to create your career. You have to create a family. You have to create, whatever you do. But I just, that stuck with me forever because it's so simple, but it's so true. You have to choose the people you put yourself around. You have to work hard towards a goal and a dream. And you need to really create moments that you can live in that are happy. And as an adult now, finally realizing that fame and a record deal and being on these stages is not what is important to me anymore. Seeing my friends who have made it in the music industry and how much they are unhappy. They wish that they were streamers. I have multi-platinum selling artist friends that are touring their life away and they never see their family and they never get to do things that they truly that bring them happiness. I'm realizing more and more that I would rather have a humble and simple life doing what I love and creating my own happiness. So I will always remember that quote.
That's beautiful. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I love all the dad support we're seeing today.
Yeah, I love
Because
it
we're
too.
because we're going to be wrapping things up quickly. If we've got any moderators in chat, I would super appreciate it if you could drop everyone's social media accounts right now that are on this panel so we can all go and continue to support them after this. Eve, what about you? What's the best advice that you've gotten that has helped you on the tour to becoming you?
I was lucky enough to see the Dalai Lama like live. I was literally like 6 feet from him, and I was just like,
Wow.
the energy in the room that you could feel from just him being there was
My heart just
absolutely
got warm.
amazing. Yeah. And one of the things he talked about was community and how people want to change the world. They want to change the world on this massive, massive scale. But you have a better opportunity and a better chance to change it right in your community, right with, you know, however many viewers you have, however many people are in your community, you can change, because once that domino starts going, it will never stop. Once you pass on that compassion, that kindness, all this knowledge, the lessons that you've learned, the vulnerability that you have, once you pass that on, it will be like wildfire, the best wildfire in the world, and just keep spreading and going. And there's like, it's a double-edged sword where you could lead with that kindness, but always remember, if you lead with negativity or meanness or anything, that's going to spread. So always think about that kindness, always think about being vulnerable and how that's such a strength. And always remember, within your community, you can change the world.
Beautiful, beautiful. Janelle, your reactions to everyone's commentary, like I love it so hard.
My
I love
mic is
it
muted,
so
so I
hard.
have to like emote.
I love it.
feelings.
You're doing a great job. Yeah, like all of this was great, everyone. I think one of the things that was touched on earlier, and I think it might have been you, Eve, was if you're not 100% you, if you're not at your best on that day, whatever you do next is not going to be to your full potential. So you want to look at taking care of yourself first, and then you can take that 100% of yourself and put it into whatever you want to do. Because if you're still bogged down by stuff and you're doing your gaming or your streaming or whatever to escape that, you're only half there and you're half with your crap. That doesn't have the same impact as if you deal with your crap and then you go and stream. So I'm going to take this as another opportunity to remind you all to take good care of your minds and bodies. Your futures are so bright. You got to remember to wear shades. Shades stands for sleep, hydration, raise your bottles, friends. Air, like go for a little walk outside, sit out on the patio, whatever. Diet, eat your kale, right? Eat your kale. Exercise and stillness. That could be meditation, that could be journaling, that could be going to therapy. There are so many different ways that you can deal with the stuff that you've got going on in your mind. Do not ignore it. The authentic life that you crave is already there within you, but you got to let go of some of this stuff and lean into it. So everyone who was here today, thank you so very much for being a part of this panel discussion. Like really, I could not have thought of a better group of people to have these conversations with. Everyone out there, thank you, Moss Fan, for dropping all of their links. Know that these conversations that we were having, look at the commonalities in discussion. And we're talking about people who are not just doing content creation as a career. We have people here from, you know, hundreds of followers to hundreds of thousands of followers. And the guidelines across the board are still the same. Do the things you love, take good care of yourselves, and just be kind. Just be kind. Thank you again, everyone. You're so, so great. Everyone, make sure that you support them. And that's going to be it for us today. Go live and create authentically. You deserve to live a life that you are happy with, that you're proud of, that feels right to you.
And we should also say thank you to this amazing woman right here who organized it, because she just killed it. And we are honored to know
Thanks,
you.
Snaps.
Thank you so much, Snaps. You're such a champion.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Thanks again. Thanks again. Everyone, follow all the accounts, and I'll be seeing y'all later.
Each kale.
Each kale.
I hope you have that on a t-shirt, dude. Like, oh my God.
Not yet. Fall collection. It's coming out, I swear.
There we go. There we go. There we go. So now we can just sit and do what we did yesterday on the panel and just stare into the camera until RareDrop like takes us offline.
I lost all my nails on my right hand, by the way.
No. During the panel?
Yeah, they just kept flying off.
I didn't even see it.
You were
You're
snapping
sneaky.
too hard. Like,
Like, come on, yeah.
oh my God. Oh my God.
That is amazing.
I was just trying to stay upright. I'm like, I need some more coffee. I gotta.
And we'll just
all right, emote only chat. I'm just kidding. Dorcius, I literally have a smile emote and it makes me think of you. And I'm like, dang it, I wish I could just give these to you.
someone gift
you.
her sub to gift Dorcius a sub to her channel so that
Oh yeah,
he
I'll
can
do it.
smile
I'll
too.
do it.
Oh, there we go.
Someone in chat says more water.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like more
Stay
water.
hydrated.
I'm out.
We're just gonna
So
hang
Twitch
out here
things,
forever?
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Should we just slide
Alright,
over to that?
kick it off. Yeah.
Is
I'm
this
crying.
the real life?
Is this just fantasy? Yeah.
Caught
Next.
in a landslide. No escape.
Should I just like
from
rip off my wig? I was about to
Yes.
de-drag. As soon as you said bye, I was like,
No, we're still on. We're still on.
We're still live. I told him that we might take the full 2 hours, so I wonder if they wandered away. So now we're just chilling here, like, hello.
Okay.
This
What's
is
up,
great.
chat?
We'll just
Yeah.
talk to chat. Someone get
Yeah.
the RD
How you
boys some
doing?
coffee. That emote is terrifying. I love it.
Can we plug stuff? Can we plug stuff?
Yes. Oh, take this opportunity.
I'm gonna take this opportunity. There is so much drag on Twitch. Like, Deer, one of the founder of Team Stream Queens,
Who's also in the chat.
also in the chat, helped with the tag drag for Twitch. So if you love drag, if you're a person who loves drag, go find drag content creators out there. Go follow the members of Team Stream Queens. You can find them at streamqueens.net. It's not just drag queens, it's kings, queens, creatures, and characters alike. And if you love, authenticity and genuine individuals, you will find it in Stream Queens, period.
I'm pumped. I'm so
beautiful.
there.
You're great with the plugs.
I know.
Steve. Great job there. Really well done.
Like, how do I plug myself? I host a nerdy podcast called Comic Book Nation with comicbook.com. We talk about all things Marvel, DC, video games, anime, except I'm a total noob. I'm still trying to learn. Wrestling, all the things. It's really fun.
Sweet.
It's not mine though. So I feel like weird that I'm plugging it, but that's okay.
But you're
Who
part of
cares?
it.
I'm part of it.
Yeah.
I'm part of it. Yeah. I love
think
it.
if anything, it's nice that you're doing the like, it's not mine, but here, check this out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on it and then that's really cool.
Heck yeah.
And I just finished watching Umbrella Academy and it's amazing season 2.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. Oh, so good. Okay,
Well,
who-
if I can jump in, OMG, it's Firefox everywhere. Sometimes I play Bop It on stream. What's up? Come hang
Period.
out. That's it. That's all I got.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
Anyone
I guess
else?
I'll just jump in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can find all my links on kindartist.org. Recently in January, I released my emote course. We have
Ooh.
over 175 students already. So
That
pretty
is
close to 200
awesome.
students. It's a 5-hour course, and I had no idea the reception would be this good. So you can find it on my website. I'm releasing my partnership celebration hoodies this past week, so they're available to the 21st. We are celebrating our 3 years on Twitch and our partnership starting today. So this is the first day of my streamer vacay where I'm not doing any commission work for 1 week. We got to fill out 31 slots and share modes, and we're gonna do all that this week. You can find me on Twitter at young_con_, and that's where you can find me talking about anime waifus, Black Lives Matter,
Period.
coffee, lots of daily selfies, beard care, stuff like that.
That's
if you're-
good. I've been looking for some new beard care stuff. So.
Period.
So find me on
Um,
Instagram. I got pictures of me and the dogs, and the dachshund, the pit bull, and the Great Dane at YoungCon, plus lots of pictures of the more salubrious art I make.
That was the word we were looking for.
There we go.
That
We
was
found
the one.
this.
That was the one. That was the one.
Perfect. Dorcius?
You can find me here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Dorcius. If I'm not gaming, if I'm not like diving headfirst into Ghost of Tsushima or doing sword work on stream, you usually find me drawing. And if you're going to find me drawing, assume 80% of the chance it's going to be spicy, like, or close to it. But you can also find my artwork up on my Etsy. So I'm constantly working now on getting new artwork up there. But yeah, the Twitter, you're usually going to find me posting all the lovely drawings, as well as talking about video game nostalgia and just hanging out with everybody and like retweeting ducks because ducks are cute.
They
And
are.
They're hella cute. I can't not
otters.
retweet those.
Mm.
Yes. So you can find me, just hanging out in those places. Usually Twitter is going to be probably your best avenue to find me. Twitter or Twitch. And then if you like to have art on your walls from me, you can do that on the Etsy. So
Yeah.
I saw that
Oh.
blanket in the background, and I was gonna ask something about Ghost of Tsushima. So
Uh-huh.
good.
so good.
I keep
So
hearing
good.
great things. I keep
Gotta do
hearing
it.
great things.
So good. So good.
Friends, if you're looking to support any of the things that I'm up to, I think my Patreon is where I'm directing people to lately. I just put out another positivity podcast that actually ties a lot into what we talked about here today, and it's titled "Get Out of Your Head and Get Into Your Life." So if you want those one-on-one sessions, or if you want to be a part of our small group video chat discussions, our next one is actually what day? Where am I? It's Saturday. Our next one is on Saturday, and we have our next art showcase night. Looking at you artists for that same day in my channel, twitch.tv/SheSnaps. Bam.
Period.
Boom.
I totally didn't
Boom.
say my social. So Janelle Wheeler, hey, what's up? I was
No
like, too
E.
busy.
I added an E to Janelle like every time I typed it, and I had to like
That's
punch
totally
myself in
okay.
the face to stop.
My parents had no idea how to spell it. They thought it was going to be a boy. And then like I popped out and they were like, oh no, what do we do now?
Oh my
So-
god.
That's literally what happened. I was supposed to
that's
be
perfect.
Dustin.
Oh, you'd still be a beautiful Dustin. Like,
Thanks. I was the
Okay.
prettiest baby boy. I was.
well, I
Everybody
don't
else
want
is
to
skedaddle.
keep all of you stuck here because I know that you've got work to do. You got stuff. So I'll just stay here and stare at everyone until RareDrop comes and shuts us down. So
Be
if
good,
y'all gotta go,
everybody.
just
Keeping on the
wave
job.
it out.
Yeah. Be
Oh my
good. Keep
gosh.
smiling.
Yeah.
See you later.
Always smile.
Yes.
Take it
Yes.
easy. I had a great time. I'm so sad I get to see you in person this year. Maybe next year.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen.
Ew.
Yeah, stay hydrated, everyone.
I'll be
Yes.
following everybody once I have some more coffee and more cognizant. I'll be finding everybody soon. You guys have a
Perfect.
great one.
Yeah.
Have a safe
You
Monday.
too.
Love it.
Take care.
Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Bye, guys.
Period.
Bye, beautiful friends.
Thank you.
I don't have anything to do.
Oh, good. We'll just chill here while we wait.
Period.
Period. You know what I think was wonderfully authentic is as we were starting things out today, you were talking about how you cried. So you were just like, or your eyes were watering. So you were just like, let's make it a part of the makeup because why not?
That's because my allergies, for some reason, my eyes were watering like crazy. And I have bottom lashes on this side, but I don't have any bottom lashes on this side because I could not stick them on. So my makeup was running and I was like, my makeup is ruined. But I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to make it work. And I made it work.
You made it work. You really
Period.
did.
But what a great this is amazing that RareDrop is putting on and everything. Like, this is absolutely phenomenal. I'm so glad that I was a part of this, like, to be able to talk with you and so many amazing content creators here on Twitch. Like,
Yeah.
I love Twitch. Like, it's like,
Same.
I love Twitch. Twitch is such an amazing platform. And anybody out there, if you are even thinking of content creating on Twitch, just jump for it. Do it. Just try it out. It's so amazing. It's absolutely so amazing.
Yeah. I started out on here, it's been 5 years now. And I remember when I first started, I was working multiple jobs still, because like throughout my entire life, I usually have about 3 jobs minimum.
Mhm.
And when I started on Twitch, it took a while before I was like, well, it didn't take very long, but it took a little bit where I was like, ooh, I really feel something here. Like you feel that strong connection, that strong pull that's like, this is the thing. So I said, all right, let's go full send this. And I quit only one of the jobs. One, just like based on the very limited data I have, we're trending upwards. We're gonna say, okay, let's give this a shot. And I'm so glad. What a great conversation we just got to have. So proud of you.
I know. It's honestly like I'm gonna brag. I'm gonna brag.
Get it.
So like I've been streaming for 3 years and I've never had the success before because I've always was trying so hard to be, you know, the hype, like video games, let's get hype, you know, and that's just not my content. And that's not my content at all. And once I started, it took drag for me to push out who I was, like who I am, you know, and from there it shows. This is one thing that I've learned. A chat will be able to tell if you are genuine or not. 100%. So if you're pushing something that's not authentically you, your chat will pick up on it and boom, be you, because there is something beautiful in everybody. There is something beautiful in everybody. You just have to push it forward, and there is somebody out there that will love it, that will eat it up. No matter what the content is, no matter what it is, somebody loves it. Somebody loves it, and somebody will find you. Period.
Yes. God, it really is the truth. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad that we could do this today together.
I'm living. This is like such a great, was that a puppy?
That was a puppy. I don't know why he got all worked up there. I think Alex is still home.
Hello?
That's so loud. Hello?
Who's there?
Well, since we're waiting on RareDrop, because I think I confused them by saying we might take the full 2 hours. Since we're waiting on them, any folks in chat, if you have some additional questions right now would definitely be the time. We can continue to have some conversations here in this last 13 minutes we've got together, if they all disappeared on us. How long does it take you to get your makeup off at night?
To take it off? So I tend to like take a little longer because I love the whole like, so right now it looks so gorgeous, so pretty. As soon as I put my makeup remover on, it's gray. Everything is just gray. But I like to like do the whole treatment. Like I do a oil-based treatment, and then I do a cleanser, and then I do a lotion. I do everything. So
you've got the good routine so your skin doesn't like turn horrible from it.
So one of the things somebody mentioned, I think it was either Janelle or Sonia, that like as soon as they shut down stream, you know, they just like away from the computer. What I do is I just like linger in the chat, and I sit there, wig off, outfit off, and I'm just like in my t-shirt with my makeup full on with no lashes, and I'm just chilling and watching. And my face hates me for it, because I know you might think that it's a natural makeup where it's like a lip gloss and like a little bit of highlighter, but it's not. There's a lot of makeup here. There's like a lot of makeup.
I can dig that. Like I did, it was actually punitive, which is sad. But like when I was in high school, I had to be a part of drama for a little while. And like I had gotten in trouble. So as much as I loved it, like it was cool, I wasn't there of my own volition. Like I was being kind of punished. So I had to join, but I had fun. And I remember doing stage makeup for a little while. And as I would like put it on, everyone was like, no, that's not enough. And I'm like, what do you mean that's not enough? Like, look at how much. And it was because of the lighting and everything. Like you really need a lot to make it pop the way that it does like on your face right now.
Yeah. And that was one thing too. I think it was, it might've been someone from your community. You might've rated me one time, and somebody looked at my lips, and I was like, oh my God, like my lips, like I gotta draw them bigger. And they're like, wait, those aren't your real lips? And I'm like, no, my real lip is like right here. Everything else is fake. And they're like, what? Like the power of makeup is absolutely phenomenal.
Yes, it is. Okay, so we have our RareDrop friends back with us.
Period.
So any parting words you want to share since you and I got to wrap things up today?
Parting words. Don't be afraid to go through your content when you have downtime. Watch your videos. Also, Black Lives Matter, Black Trans Lives Matter. Wear your mask, wash your hands, social distance 6 feet apart, period.
That was, yes. Perfect. Love to see it. There's nothing else that needs to be added to that. 100%.